Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast, Olympic Minds Leadership Beyond Limits. I am your podcast host, Winn, two-time Olympian, national championship basketball coach, author of 5 leadership books, and now CEO of the Winning Leadership Company. This podcast is for the leaders of leaders, the visionary of visionaries. This is for leaders who want to go beyond success into significance and beyond mediocrity into mastery. This is not theory, because I talk to people who are grit tested, heart proven, and results driven, like Christina Winters. Christina is an author. She built a company, a financial services company, sold it for millions. I don't know how many, but lots of money. She is a speaker, and she's the type of person who can consult you wherever you are right now, right today, into helping you find a way to also to be uber successful in your own business. So Christina, why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about what you are doing today, what your endeavors are, and why you made the change? I mean, you were uber successful in what you're doing. Why did you make this change?
Well, I wanted to do something. I've been 45 years in the business, 10 years with a corporation, 35 years for myself. And it was put on my heart that I need in this next chapter to help others to have the success that I have had, because I've learned a lot over 45 years.
Yeah.
And the best thing to do is to learn from other people's mistakes. So my newest book is The Revolution of Achievement. It's about what I did, the 7 secrets of leading with outrageous vision, building sales superstars, and discovering purpose-driven success. I sold my firm of $250 million, and people started asking me, how did you do that? Will you come speak? How about you come and work with my team, and let's see if you can consult for us. Wow. So I've just been having a lot of fun and really enjoying myself, because business is fun if you make it that way, and you can eliminate all the stress.
So let's talk about that. You just said business is fun if you make it that way. So in what ways? I mean, 45 years, I mean, goodness, you have a lot of experience in making business fun. So what makes business fun? If I'm a business person and I'm struggling, I am like trying to figure out, like every day I feel pressure to succeed. I feel pressure to hit my KPIs. I feel pressure. How do I make business fun?
Well, that's one of the 7 secrets. Visualization and speaking in positive words. Management is a conversation, and all management has to be speaking the same words and getting excited about what we're doing. Purpose-driven success, taking yourself out of the equation altogether, not worried about all of that stuff that you just said. Focus on the client. How can I help them even more? How can I show them that I care? How can I show them that I'm here to not tell them, oh, you're doing that wrong? No, it's just a different way to look at it. It's all about positioning yourself and being positive all the time in your thoughts. I'm always in the right place at the right time, talking to the right people about the right things.
There you go.
And everything always works in my favor.
What a lovely thing to think. I'm always in the right place at the right time, talking to the right people, right? Doing the right things. So this was something that you probably had to learn. You probably had to teach yourself. This is, we're not born this way. I mean, maybe we're born this way. We pop out, we're like, yay, it's a great life. And then we go, oh, no, it's not. Because listen to what everybody else is talking about. Listen to what everybody else is saying. Watch the news. It's awful. So where did you learn this idea of I'm in the right place at the right time? That life is really just giving me gifts. Where did you learn this kind of concept? And then how did you employ that?
Years ago, I went to a a streaming business conference where they had CEOs from major corporations, 4 of them. Mm-hmm. And one of them said something to me that changed my whole life. Business is nothing but problem, crisis. That's it. So if you realize that that's it, then what you want to do is relax into it and realize that your job title, no matter what you want to put on your business card, is problem solver. And guess what? Everybody that works with you is problem solver. We're all the same title. Yeah. That's all we do all day long is solve problems. But yet people come home and go, oh my God, I had so many problems today. That's a good thing. Problems create opportunities for solutions, and solutions make you feel good. And that's how you have fun. But if you think you're looking for, not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It'll happen once in a while. And that's what I call being in the eye of the storm, right? Because what happens when there's a hurricane and you're in the eye? Gets real calm, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Wind kind of dies down and the rain stops and everybody goes, whew, and then here it comes. The storm is moving, right? That's business.
Yeah. Well, I love that you think about it as problem solving, right? And so when you can solve it, something good has occurred, right? And it's that it's the idea. This is what it is. This is the whole scenario. It's not like, oh my gosh, I came to work and everything was great. Everything went wonderful. That's a rarity. It does happen. It only happens though in our minds when we're like, oh, great. Look at this problem. I can find a solution. That is the real mindset of people who can win. Is it not?
That is how you win. And that's how you have fun. In the very beginning of my company, I would come into the office and I said, let's play corporation.
Let's play.
You can't take anything seriously. And that's a learned trait.
Absolutely.
That's a learned trait. It's not anything that that's you, they tell me. That's you. No, that's me now.
Right.
But
so how long did it take you to get there? So it's like people want to get there today, right? So to have this mindset of let's play, let's have fun. Look at the fun in this business. Look, we're problem solvers. Look, this is a great opportunity. When something happens, how exciting, right? How long from the moment that you understood, like you started learning about this, how many years? I'm not going to say it's a year. How long did it take you to get into this mindset that you come with a mindset daily? Like you have this mindset that you can employ daily.
Probably 5 or 7. But this is what I had to do because no one was helping me. No one told me this. No one has this formula that I now have after I spent years going to conferences and gleaning information here and there and interviewing people who were where I wanted to be. And that's the key also. Be careful who you talk to.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because if you're talking... if you're talking to people who are not where you want to be, and this is one of the things with rigor, you got to watch who you're talking to and who you're hanging out with and who you're looking to for advice.
Absolutely.
If you're looking to people for advice that aren't where you want to be, you're wasting your time.
Absolutely.
When I first got into this, I had to clear the deck of my friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What happens is you end up being alone. Because once you realize that this is reality, that this is what you have to do if you want to succeed, you have to call the people out of your life that are not at the level that you are or that you want to be. Let's just say that you want to be.
Right.
Because you don't want to say, well, I'm at this level, therefore you can't be my friend. No, this is where I'm going. And, our values really don't mesh.
Right.
And if you decide that you're going to do that, you'll find really beautiful ways to ease people on down the road, okay?
Right.
Away from you, okay? It's not like being ruthless or anything like that. Remember, we're having fun.
Well, I think that I have a friend of mine, and he does this like every year. He writes a list of people who contaminate him or people who contribute to him. Right. And so sometimes we're not even aware.
That's good.
Toxic people. And so it doesn't mean that you're mean to them. It doesn't mean that you don't wish them well. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that you can't afford to hang around them, because whether we want their energy or not, they're always throwing it out. Right. So they're throwing out the stuff. And then like kind of all the time we're trying to block this thing. But if you're around people who contribute to you, people who are excited, people who are purposeful, people who are loving, people who are kind, people who are empathetic, that becomes, and the people who are abundant minded, like you are abundant minded, then that just enforces who you are and who you want to be.
Right. Languaging is a critical aspect of having fun, because there are words that you need to get out of your vocabulary, like trying, hope. And don't get me wrong there, because, some people have religious beliefs. That's different. Okay. We're talking business here. So you can't hope that you're going to get that contract. No. What are you going to do? I'm trying to get this contract. No. What are the things that you're doing to get this contract? And then that's how you can intelligently pull people in. You can't pull somebody in who's really effective if you said, I'm trying to get this contract. Can you help me? This is what I'm doing to get this contract. Can you give me some other ideas?
There you go.
That's what people who are above you will focus on when you're talking to them. Mm-hmm. They will give you ideas, but you can't ask them vanilla questions that really have no intent in them.
I think when you say the word try, for me, it represents lack, right? So there's a lack mindset, there's an abundant mindset. And so when you're trying, it's from the lack mindset, right? When you're doing, I'm working on this, I'm doing it right now, I'm going to get there. That's from the abundant mindset. And so even speaking from lack, I hope this works out. I really wish it could get there. I'm trying to do all that, feels like lack to me.
Right. And what I do from the stage is I take my bottle of water and I come to the edge of the stage and I go, you over there, come over here, try to take this bottle out of my hand. And then they pull it out of my hand. I said, I didn't tell you to take it. I told you to try. And then they go, I said, right, there's no action in trying, is there?
I love that example. Right? I mean, because people don't understand the difference, and you have to show them the difference. And you just did that from the stage. You show them the difference.
Another thing I do on the stage is I take a glass of water. I have to get this beforehand, and I get the kitchen to give me about 1.5 inches of oil on top of the water, and a spoon. And this is the problem crisis, right? Mm-hmm. So whenever that's occurring, you may have a couple of crises right up on top of each other, okay? It doesn't always come like that, problem, crisis. What if you have 2 crises in the middle and you're handling both of them at the same time, okay? So I demonstrate the water to have people remain calm. So I take the water and I put the spoon in it and I stir it up. And of course the oil's mixed with the water and it's all turning around. And I said, so we're just going to remain calm. And then I put it on the top of the podium and we're going to go about doing our tasks and taking care of things. and then we'll check on the water in a minute. So then I usually go on to the next secret, and then I come back to the water, and sure enough, the oil's back on top of the water, right? But see, what happens when things are getting in a turmoil? Right. Because it's natural, we're human beings. There are times where you suck in air sometimes, but it just has to be a moment because you train yourself. What's next? What's next? What's next? So while you're working through all of that and you're having your people remain calm in the process because you're modeling the process. So they're calm, they're calming down, they're taking care of business. What are you doing now? Okay, take care of this. Okay, great. And then so-and-so's doing this, and how are you augmenting that? And who has another idea? While all that's going on, the problem's getting taken care of without everybody sitting around going, oh my God, oh my God. There's no action in that.
Right.
And it's not happy.
No, you can't be happy in that situation. But it has to be that feeling of, because I was a basketball coach for 23 years, or a college coach. It has to be the feeling of celebration in the problem, in the moment, in the, what do you want to call it, crisis, call it problem, whatever you call it. There has to be a celebration of, I'm in the mix of it. Like I'm doing it. Like I don't even care. I used to tell my players, like, I don't care if you miss the shot. I care if you don't shoot the shot, right? So at the end of a game, let's say a player took the last shot and she missed, I'd celebrate in the locker room. Like I'd go over and celebrate the shot. I'm celebrating the willingness to do something versus the unwillingness to do anything. And I think that's what you're talking about. It's like having that feeling good that I'm in the mix, feeling good that I'm learning, I'm growing, even if it's not working out right now, right this second. I'm still in the process of evolving. And I think that's what you're saying is like, can we celebrate it even as we're doing it? Because that's what brings the fun. Right.
And I'll bring Larry Bird into this. How could he make those 3-point shots? Right? Because he practiced from every board on that court.
Right.
From behind, not looking. He knew, he came down that court. He knew right where he was by where he was on the boards, right?
Absolutely.
So of course he could turn around and shoot.
Yeah. He was somebody who was incredible, right? And so we look at athletes, we talk about training. We all know that athletes have to train physically. We all know that. And they wouldn't be successful if they didn't. And then you talk about training the mind. Like you got to train the mind. Now people are like, well, how do I train the mind? Because you know how to train your body. Like if you go in, you know you need to do this X number of times. So how do you train your mind to think differently? Because that's what you're talking about. You're talking about training your mind to think differently. So if you were talking to somebody and you're saying, okay, you need to train your mind, and they go, what do you mean? What would you tell them? How would you tell them to start training their mind?
First thing they got to do is they got to write down. I sit them down and have them write down the first 5 negative statements that come to their mind about whatever whatever's going on in their company. Okay. What are those negative statements? Then we sit down and we look at them and we take, because everybody's thoughts are different. You can't hand anybody positive affirmations for their success because everybody's got a different set of negative thoughts. Actually, we have about 30,000 negative thoughts. So when someone says, well, I really can't think of anything, you got to be kidding me. If that was true, you'd be a success because it's true. I mean, people have to understand what you're thinking and what you're saying. The conversation of leadership is critical to the success of the company, to the success of your people, for the success of your clients. So then you craft those positive statements, and you have to pay attention because there are 5 steps that have to be in a positive statement. Okay. So you have to read my book to find out what those are.
Why to plug the book in there? Absolutely. You put the secret out there and then you go, it's in the book. So go find it.
Right.
I love that because people don't know, a lot of people don't know because they haven't gotten to the world of self-awareness. And so people don't know what they don't know. So if you don't know what you don't know, you can't move to knowing. You have to first know what you don't know. So it's really interesting on self-awareness because I think that even now today, like I've been in the personal development phase for at least 35 years, because I started knowing as an athlete, like I would hear my internal talk, self-talk, and I'd be like, oh no, like I'm not gonna have a good game because I'm thinking this way. I have to think differently, but I didn't know at the time how to think differently, right? And but I was aware that there were thoughts that were hurting me. I was aware of that. And then, as my awareness grew through listening to podcasts, reading books like your book, right? Listening to people like you, growing myself, then I became uber aware of the things I say. And now I just found another level that I was unaware of, right? After all this time, like another level of self-talk that I didn't know, even after practicing this for decades.
It's a lifetime. It's a lifetime, Sherry.
Yeah, it's a lifetime.
It's a lifetime.
And you can always change. You can always grow. I mean, this is what I'm thinking right now. Like you had this super successful business. Like you had, things were easy because you knew what you were doing. I mean, it's very like you had a comfort zone. And then you said to me, like my heart, like something, like I heard this voice or this thing in my heart to change, right? So what was it that came to you? What spoke so loudly to you that after decades of being uber successful, that came to you that you wanted to do something different?
People that I trained were many over 45 years.
Yeah.
And some of them have put testimonials on my website and in my social media. I thought one day I could reach so much more. I could help so many more people than I saw and worked with many, many, many people in my 45 years. But am I reaching thousands? No. Am I reaching millions? No. And I can if I sell my business and focus on spreading what I have learned to millions of people instead of the 700 or 800 that I've worked with over my 45 years.
In fact, isn't it? It's like a calling. Like all of a sudden you get this.
It was.
This real big knowledge that there's got to be more that you can give to this world.
Right. Because when you start having fun, okay, and with what you're doing, you're like, once you master something, and I really mastered all of this in my career. Now what I'm mastering is the art of communication to millions of people at the same time. Right. Which is different than working with people one-on-one daily,
right?
Which is what I used to do. So it's a challenge for me to find ways. Of course, podcasts have really been great, and now they're telling me I need to do TikTok, and because there's so many people on there that are always looking for things. So these are things that I am learning and mastering now. So it's the next level. And that's the exciting part about it, is that now you're challenged again. And that's the excitement of it. It's the problem solving, right?
Well, it's the problem solving, and it's also I think the awareness that you can really help more. Like it's that place where I think it's a growth into that, maybe, Christina. I think that as younger people, we're about how much can I do? How much can I make? How much can I do? What can I, like, what can I get? What can I get for me? What can I get? And then there becomes a place that we go, what can I give? There's a shift, like even before, I'm sure long before you decided to do this, there's a shift about what can I give, right? And you can only receive what you give anyway.
I learned it early on. Well, being in the financial planning business, what can I give comes very quickly because I'm a factory worker's daughter. I wanted to make money, but I started out selling life insurance, and there's two kinds of main kinds of life insurance. There's term insurance and whole life. Mm-hmm. So to sell whole life, for example, a young man with a wife and 3 children, and he has $50 for life insurance, he can buy $40,000 worth of whole life, meaning that whole life insurance won't change its cost his whole life.
Wow.
Or he can buy term insurance. For that same $50, he can buy $300,000 worth of term insurance that will expire in 30 years. But like I told them, listen, by that time, your kids will be gone on their own, hopefully. Well, there I go, hopefully.
Hopefully.
That's why sometimes, you really hope. So, you can actually take care of yourself eventually. You buy the insurance and then you start doing financial planning, and then the insurance really doesn't matter anymore because now you got a couple of million.
Right.
Because I worked with middle income people and they're all millionaires.
Wow.
Now it's not somebody that started with me 5 years ago, right? But I have clients that have been with me for 30 years that have been retired for 15 years, and they were teachers and everyday people that had regular jobs. And it's all about positioning yourself and helping them. So going beyond yourself was easy for me. That first year in life insurance, I made $13,000. I couldn't sell whole life insurance because whole life insurance paid 125% commission on the annual premium, and term insurance paid 10%. So I couldn't do it, and I left insurance because it was so myopic. It was one thing. There were more things that people need to focus on. Yeah, life insurance is important, but God, there's emergency cash, foundation savings. Do you have a trust? Do you have a will? How about long-term care? Do you have disability insurance? I mean, there's and then there's money investment, okay? So when you're a financial planner, if you're a good one, integrated financial planner, money management is really about 20% of what you do with clients. The rest of it is helping them to manage their emotions over everything. Because I was a certified behavioral financial planner besides my fiduciary accreditation. But
so one of the things you had to learn early, right? Because I think there's people who get confused about selling because they think that selling is like pushing. And you knew early that selling was serving. Like you really got that early, right? Because you're saying, look at all these people that I helped, all these people that were millionaires, all these things that I was able to do to help people. And so you have to get that mindset between, what selling really is. It's really serving. Now, if you're just selling for your own benefit, like if all you're thinking about is what I'm going to get out of this transaction, how am I going to get from, then you are selling. But if you're really thinking about serving, it's about how can I help these people in the mess, even if it's say, hey, this is not for you right now.
Right. It's a process that purpose-driven success. Like I said, that's what my book is. It's 1/3 of my book. When you find that immediately, and I welcome people listening to this, whatever you do in your business, what can you do to just focus on the client? Mm-hmm. Don't worry about how much money you're getting. Focus on the client. And don't ask your boss for a raise until you're already living in that position and performing in that position like you were making that money and having that title. I'm already doing blank, 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 blank. I'm doing the job already. I'd like the raise and the money and the title to go with it. You never say, give me the title and the money and I'll show you what I can do. No, that doesn't work.
Is there something else in your book? Like, you don't have to expose all your secrets, but is there something else in your book that people ought to know? Like, if you could say, here's one more thing that if you do this, when you do this, not if, when you do this, like, you're going to find greater success. What else would you say that in your book that people should really...
Agility. Okay. Every plan crumbles at first approach. It never, you got an idea in your head, you're so excited and you do your business plan and whatever you decided you're going to do. When you start doing it, you're going to have a kerfuffle for sure. You just want to know that, okay? Because the universe is telling you, not that you're not going to get what you want, it's telling you that you probably need to go about this in a different way. You probably have to learn this before you can actually get this. Mm-hmm. Because be realistic. If you knew how to do all the things to get you where you wanted to go, you'd be there.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of lessons that you have to learn in the process. So if you have breakdowns along the way, what you do is you ask yourself, first of all, identify clearly the breakdown.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What did you learn? And what are you going to put in place so it doesn't happen again? That's how you do it. Now, if you did that, you figured out something that will have it not happen again, and it happens again, then you got to start all over. Okay, that didn't work. What was the breakdown this time? How did that, what I said I was going to do that was going to make it work, what's wrong with that? What isn't that's not the right path. So I need to look for a different way. So a lot of times people will start off in business and then something happens and they go, well, it was a good idea. I guess it just wasn't its time. Okay. So it's always the time. The creature cannot conceive of an idea it can't achieve.
So it reminds me of, like, nobody would think as an athlete, nobody would think that you go in, if you don't make your first shot, that it's over. Right? I mean, everybody knows, you have to practice over and over and over and over and over. And even with all the practice you do, even with all the hours and thousands of hours you put into it, you're still gonna miss. Nobody has that expectation, but it's funny in business, they go, I had a great idea, it just didn't pan out. No, right. You had a great idea and now you had to work on that idea. Maybe sometimes you had to really just use a little portion of the idea, but it's the consistency and the practice of it, right? And it's the evaluation of it. So nobody would ever think that, this is the thing about evaluating. How many times do you get on an airplane and you get off the plane and the plane sends you an immediate, how did we do? Evaluate us. How did we do? What can we do differently to make your experience better? Well, that's something that as a business owner or anybody, relationship, money, health, anybody should constantly go, what worked, what hasn't, what do more of this, less of this. This is it's not, I failed, period, over.
Right. And this is where the friend thing and the colleague thing I brought up in the beginning. This is where you got to get those people out of your lives, because when you have those kerfuffles, those people that are really not right for you are going to say, well, you tried. Don't worry about it. You'll be all right. Have a cookie. Have a cookie. When you walk out that door, you'll feel right as rain.
So I developed chronic pain when I was 35. So I couldn't sit, stand, or walk without pain, right? So 35 years old, had been an athlete, 2-time Olympian, everything I knew was about physicality. Like that's how I lived. Everything was physical. I was still running. I was bike riding. I was climbing rocks. I was hiking. I was backpacking. You name it. Like I was doing it. And then bam, I couldn't do anything. I went to 17 different medical professionals, had every test known to mankind. They're like, we don't know. And the last guy I went to, he's like, look, we're going to look at all these tests and we're going to come up with a game plan. I'm going to get a group of doctors and we're going to come up with a game plan. Perfect. I'm like, perfect. So after 2 years of going to the doctors, I go to this guy and he goes, here's what we decided. You need to go to pain management clinic. And I go, dude, you're not getting it. Like, I don't want to manage it. I want to get rid of it. And he literally yelled at me as I was walking out the door. This is a bad decision. I go, no, like you just don't understand that what I want is to be rid of it. Like, I don't want to manage it. We're living in different universes. And he goes, you'll never get healthy if you walk out the door. I mean, he's like yelling at me. And I was like, bye. Because I know somebody has the answer. It's just not you.
Right.
It's just not you.
Right.
And I think that you have to have that kind of determination in your own business, your own life, your own whatever. It's just like the answer's out there. You may not.
Right. And unfortunately, modern medicine is really important, but this stuff, again, being a financial planner, I was with people throughout their whole lives. And as they aged, when they had accidents or something, rotator cuff surgery, the doctor will say, well, for your age, you really don't have to work that hard on it as long as you have, some mobility. What? No, man, I had rotator cuff surgery. I can just do anything. I can get my hand all the way up to my neck, right? No, I went to physical therapy for a year, okay? Well, no one was going to tell me that my shoulder was not going to be as right as rain.
So, Christina, this has been marvelous. So if there's something you want to leave people, something I haven't asked you that you really want to say, or something that you want to leave people, what would that be right now?
Well, I'm going to repeat myself.
Okay.
The creature cannot conceive of an idea it can't achieve. If it's on your mind, on your heart, don't ever give up. Just keep going at it. Forward, backward. Everything is just something new in a different direction. Mm-hmm. So breakdowns are not failures. Failure is just going at it in a different direction. That's all. And have fun. Don't make it so intense because, tomorrow you get hit by a truck and it won't matter anyways.
But if you live your life without happiness, like if you don't wake up in the day and find joy in the day, then like there's nothing. Right? A lot of people think that they find happiness through the achievement of whatever. Like when I do this, then I'll finally feel happy. When I get this, I'll finally. No. Happiness it's not depending. It doesn't depend on anything out there. Happiness is within. And so I would say work with the happiness first, work with the joy first, work with the peace first, work with the idea of celebration first, because you're already there at everything you wanted, right?
Right. Happiness is a decision.
How true is that? So, Christina, how can people reach you? I know you have a LinkedIn, you have website, you said you're on social media.
The revolution of achievement on all the social medias, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Christina at revolutionofachievement.com, all of that. You have many 4 or 5 different, my website, revolutionofachievement.com. Go visit that. There's a lot of stuff on there and we're putting new things on all the time. So it's very active. It's not a stagnant website.
Oh, how amazing. So folks, listen, this is a woman that you need to know. Like if you're looking to run a business, you want a successful business, or even yourself, you're just like, hey, I want to be like Christina. I want to have that attitude. I want to find this life where I know I'm in the right place at the right time with the right people. I want to feel that. Then go contact her. Go get in alignment with this person, with their energy. She's been around 45 years. She was in business, right? She knows, she understands. So please go visit her at her website. Call her, contact her for a speech, whatever you need to do, this is the woman. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today at the Olympic Minds Leadership Beyond Limits. And please subscribe, please share, and have a winning day. Bye now.
Thank you.